Dwight D. Eisenhower was born on October 14, 1890 in Dennis, Texas, to David Jacob Eisenhower and Ida Elizabeth Eisenhower. Dwight was the third of his parents' 7 sons. In Dennis, the family lived in a tiny house near the railroad tracks where Dwight's father cleaned train engines for a living. After Eisenhower graduated from high school in 1909, he joined his father and uncle at the Bell Springs Crematory, while also moonlighting as a fireman. Eisenhower used the money he earned to pay his younger brother's education at the University of Michigan. The brothers had a deal, however. After 2 years, they would switch places with each other, and then Edgar would support Eisenhower's college education. But Edgar was never able to live up to the end of his deal. In 1911, Dwight landed an appointment at the United States Military Academy in West Point, New York, where attendance was free of charge. He was a star on the football field until a series of knee injuries forced him to stop playing. In 1915, Dwight proudly graduated from West Point and was commissioned as a second lieutenant. After graduation, Eisenhower was stationed in Texas, where he met and started dating 18-year-old Mamie Jode from Denver, Colorado. The couple married 9 months later on July 1st, 1916. Eisenhower was also promoted to first lieutenant on his wedding day. Eisenhower's military career was much a success. Eisenhower flew through the ranks of the Army, and on D-Day, June 6, 1944, Eisenhower commanded the Allied forces in the Normandy invasion. In December of that year, he was also promoted to the 5-star rank. After Germany's surrender in 1945, he made military governor of the U.S. occupied zone. When Eisenhower returned back home, he received a grand hero's welcome. A few months later, he was appointed U.S. Army Chief of Staff. In 1948, he was elected president of Columbia University, a position he held until December of 1950, when he decided to leave Columbia University to accept an appointment as the first Supreme United Commander of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. While in Paris with NATO, Eisenhower was encouraged by Republicans to run for the presidency of the United States. On November 4, 1952, after winning the election by a landslide, Eisenhower was elected the United States' 34th president. His domestic policy picked up where Roosevelt's New Deal and Fair Deal programs left off. In foreign policy, Eisenhower had made reducing Cold War tensions through military negotiation a main focus of his administration. In 1953, he orchestrated an armistice that brought peace to the South Korean border. Also that year, Eisenhower made his famous Atoms for Peace speech at the United Nations General Assembly. The United States and Russia had both recently developed atomic bombs, and the speech promoted applying atomic energy to peaceful use rather than using it for weaponry and warfare. In 1956, Eisenhower was re-elected to a second term, winning by a margin that was even larger than his first election, despite the fact that he had just recovered from a heart attack. Accomplishments during his second term include creating the U.S. Information Agency, establishing Alaska and Hawaii as states, supporting the creation of the interstate highway system, and creating NASA. Although Eisenhower was not known for his speeches, during his farewell address he gave one of his best speeches and warned America against the dangers of the Cold War military-industrial complex. Following his presidency, Eisenhower retired to a farmhouse in Gettysburg with his wife, but he still kept an office open at the Gettysburg College.